This is a Cranchi Giada 30. She's a 2001 boat, and I pronounced Cranchi correctly, which I think is a record, because every time I go on these I pronounce them Cranchi. Every time, quite rightly, I get told off, because the official pronunciation, even though it looks like Cranchi, is Cranchi. And the reason I want to show you this is a couple of things. Firstly, I think this is a really good twin engine 30-foot cruiser. Be a good first boat, or a good step up from something like a cuddy cabin, something like that. So we've got twin outdrives at the back here, and the Volvo Pentas, they're duo props, so you've got twin propellers on each shaft. They counter rotate like that. That's what makes it go. You've got trim tabs on here as well, and these little chaps are snap davits. They are so that you can put a tender on the back, so you have hooks on the tender, they hook on there, tender just lifts up onto the back. Anyway, we'll take a wander around and I will show you on board and give you the full tour. So the best way to get up there is to go around here past the tractor and up the steps over here. We are at boats.co.uk, so it's got some interesting stuff here, to say the least. Pretty much everything is covered. Luxury, high performance, budget, speedboats, cruisers, yeah, you name it. There's a Fairline Sun Fury here. This is what Fairline were building back in the 80s. I guess that's a mid-85 boat, that one. But this is the one we come to look at, and it's interesting because in actual fact this is kind of a modern version of this, and you can see how styling's evolved. Look how square cut this is at the back end compared with this one, and the same on the side. You can see it's all right angles back in the 80s, and then when we moved up, well, as I say, since 2001, it all gets a lot more organic and curvier. It's a nice looking boat, actually. There we go, you can see around the whole thing there now. Excellent. Let's go and take a look on board. So we'll step on here. These are these snap davits that I mentioned. So I say a dinghy would hook onto there, and then you lift it up against the back of the boat. This bracket here is to put fenders into. These are telescopic davits, so we're covering all the tender bases with this. These lift out like this, and then when they come all the way out, you can tilt them forward. I wonder if I can do it. Yeah, there we go. That's kind of pointing the wrong way, but you turn them round and you can hang a tender onto there, or fold them away like that. Now in the cockpit you've got a seating area around here. That seat drops in as an infill just there. There's a little bar area over on this side. It's a 30-foot boat, so it's all compact and bijou, but it's all there. So a little sink underneath there, and then underneath that there's a fridge and a bit of storage behind it. Then another seating area up here. This is one step up, and the reason for that you'll see, well, there's a couple of reasons. First, it gives you a bit better view out over the front when you're driving the boat, but also it gives a bit more headroom in the mid cabin, which I'll show you when we go inside. Helm positions over here. You've got a lift bolster seat, so if you want to stand at the helm you can do. Twin engine controls, because it's a twin engine boat, and then you've got your outdrive trim controls. Your trim tabs are down here, and your engine instrumentation is across here, and this has got a little GPS on it as well. So that's the helm, and then people can join you and sit here when you're out cruising along. Obviously all these covers come off, and then if we head on inside, what's nice for a 30-foot boat is actually there's quite a decent bit of seating in here and pretty good headroom. I'm 6'2" and I can stand up in here no problem at all. I mean, my head's just brushing the ceiling, but only just. And then in here we've got switch panel over here, so your circuit breakers along here for your 12 volt and your 240 volt stuff. That's just a bit of storage up in that one. Fridge underneath. Seating area here with a table, so a great dinette, but also you can drop that table down. You can see it, in fact it's on a telescopic leg, and that will make that into a sleeping area. So if you want to sleep there you can do. However, if we come back down this side, there's a galley. There's a microwave on this one, and then a 2-burner hob. So for the microwave to work you need to be on shore power, but that would work off the gas bottles. And then in here it is more storage, and the same underneath. The other thing I'll show you just while we're in this area is on this side there is a toilet with heads, and there's a shower that pulls out like that. can have a shower there if you want to. That's quite a nice little compartment. But that raised section that I mentioned, this forward area of the cockpit, the reason for that, apart from giving you that view out the front, is also to give you headroom. You can see it lines up with this. So you can go into this cabin here, you've got standing headroom as you go in, and it drops down because that bit there is that bit there, and that bit there is the headroom under here. So it makes for quite a nice little cabin. You've got storage in like so as you come in, little hanging locker as well. And then in here, the blue cushions are the infill cushions to make that table further forward into a sleeping area. So that's what these are for here. That one there, I think I'm right in saying, is so that you can convert the cockpit into a sunbathing area. There's a little seat in here, and then there's a double bed that runs back across there. So your headroom drops down a bit here, of course, but then you have your head at this end where you've got plenty of head height over it, and you can see even more so on that side. So it doesn't feel claustrophobic. We've got a very similar arrangement in my own boat, but that's how that works. It's clever packaging, isn't it? Because that's that raised floor, and then that's that step down at the back to the lower section of the cockpit. But for a first boat, for a couple, or if you want to take your kids and you want to just convert that table down into more sleeping, ideal. There we go. Very nice. Let's go look on the outside. Engines are under the cockpit floor. And what I think I will do, obviously you can get around the outside by getting out around here, but it's probably easier just to come around onto the outside here, and I can just show you then that you've got side decks. We can see them better here down the outside. However, there is another way forward, because if we come into here, another side deck on this side, those are reasonably narrow, and the reason for that is because the main access forward is here. 2 steps up, opening windscreen straight out onto the bow that way. And then finally engines. So the engines are down underneath the floor here. So if we lift that one up, both of these come up. It's obviously better if you take the table off the other one, so I'll just open this one for the moment. And here we go. Now these are a pair of Volvo Penta AQAD 31s. They are, if I remember rightly, 150 horsepower each. And they're going to give this boat, I'm going to guess, 30, 35 knots, somewhere up around there. Early 30s, I would have thought. You've got bilge pump down in the centre there, fuel filter back here, we can get to it, fire extinguisher in there as well, and that's the hot water tank over on that side. So again, it's all pretty compact, but for the size of the boat, that's what you tend to get with these, and it is quite nice to have the twin engines for a bit of reassurance. And that, as they say, chance to fall over, is that. Let's come back out here. We can see the whole thing again. There she is, Cranchi Giada 30. Huge thanks to boats.co.uk, they got this for sale. I'll put a link to them in the description, and huge thanks as ever to you guys for watching. We'll catch you on another one of these very soon. Take care. Bye bye.